All right, well, here's a question. Do you think we have any good reasons to think that aliens exist?
Yeah, we do. We have eyewitness testimony.
Let's go through them.
Yeah, eyewitness testimony. We now have extremely sophisticated instrumentation showing that UFOs exist. They're not just seen by people like with the Navy pilots. They're on the radar here. They're on the radar on the ship and on the plane, and the infrared sensors are getting it, and just stuff that, okay, it's definitely not hallucination or imagination or anything like that. Now, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily alien. Could be something else. I'm convinced there's no way it could be human technology at this point. It's so far beyond.
Could you drill in on a specific instance, maybe a recent instance that many of us may be unfamiliar with, and just sort of flesh it out for us?
Well, several. I mean, I won't get too much into detail, but we had kind of leaked, although it wasn't contrary to law, I don't think, videos of UFOs that were being observed by fighter jet pilots and by the craft, ocean-going craft that had them on their radar on this really sophisticated infrared detection system. The pilots and people on the ship could see them. And they were doing things that they call them the five observables, things that we would have no clue.
When was this?
Have technology. So since 2000, the thing is, I mean, some of this footage is from like 2004, that kind of thing, reported finally in the New York Times, 2017, 2019. But it's been going on for a long time. And you have some of the pilots say, off the coast of Jacksonville, off the coast of California, we see these things every day for years.
What?
They're saying that, yeah. And
who's they?
The pilots. Yeah, the Navy pilots. They're the best in the country at what they do. And they're coming out openly now and saying, yeah, we see them. So that now finally the Pentagon's had to say, okay, we're going to have a new process in place where without ridicule or without, because the pilots have always been told in the past, you're probably going to lose your career if you report that thing. I mean, we know that. They've had so many pilots say that no, you can report it without retribution. And now the reports are coming in.
Are reports coming in from countries other than the United States?
Yeah.
Because every time you watch a movie about UFOs, it always takes place at Washington, D.C.
It's because it was made by Americans.
Hey, of course.
But sure, Russia, some wild stuff in Iran,
like
lots
what?
of things in Brazil.
Give us an example.
Well, just, the things coming and playing around with the pilots and almost like playing games with them and that kind of stuff. In Brazil, oh my goodness, there's a documentary coming out about that. If you're going to take any witness testimony at all where things got out of the craft and walked around the town.
In Brazil?
Yeah, in Brazil.
You have to break this down for us. This is too fascinating.
I'm just telling you, it's all over. It's Russia. And Russia, they seem to they're, I don't want to say attracted to, interested in everything nuclear that we're doing.
Could be the vodka.
Ever since. Well, I would say all around the world. So ever since we started having the atomic testing out there in the Southwest, that's the whole Roswell thing, all that stuff is nearby that, where all that was going on. But then since then, they show up at nuclear missile silo sites and do things. They show up nuclear-powered vessels. They show up at power plants like the one not too far from where I am in Tennessee. They just seem to be showing up at those things all the time. And the reason I'm mentioning this, because of Russia and in the United States, there was one base where, we have all kinds of testimony from the commander of the base, the men who were there. They actually eventually had a press conference that included talking about it. A book's been written. It is well documented that one night this red circular saucer kind of thing comes down, starts hovering over the silos, and they're underground, hovering there. Men are seeing it, they know what to do. It's there sometime. And then all the missiles were online where they could be launched immediately if the president were to call and give, and one by one they begin to go offline, and they haven't done anything. There's what is going on. They can't figure out why the system is malfunctioning this way, and then the thing leaves and they all go back on.
If people wanted to look up that specific thing, what would they type in?
Maelstrom, Mahlstrom. If just Maelstrom, you put that in, it'll
And when did that occur?
I think that was back in the
Roughly.
80s. I think back in the 80s. And then what we found after the fall of the Soviet Union, people interested in this stuff went over to talk to Russian generals and others, kind of find out that they had a situation that was even scarier than that, where everything's online and with certain things, switches turn with launch toward us, and thing comes down, hovering over them, same kind of thing, and all of a sudden they all get ready to launch, and they think it's going to be World War III, and we can't do anything about it, and then it disappears and it all goes back to normal.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the video.